Camera crew needed in Lafayette. Assistant film editor needed. Extras needed for feature film. Crewing for short film. So, because of the tax incentives, film is everywhere in Louisiana. Baton Rouge, Shreveport, New Orleans, and now Acadiana. As you may have noticed or read, more and more film projects are coming here. But what is movie making really like in South Louisiana? Are these production companies really getting what they hope for? Where are all these movie makers coming from? Today we are on the set of the feature film Macumba. You may even recognize where we are, an alleyway downtown Lafayette.
Row A7, scene 16, shot 1, take 2, language generic, AP camera mark.
Macumba is the latest film written and directed by Ricardo Islas. The movie is centered around the character Roque, who is the Santero, or spiritual advisor to the local Hispanic community. His ways are pretty sketchy, and he gets upstaged by Mama Luna, a priestess in Caribbean and African mystical arts. But everything turns to chaos as soon as she comes into the picture.
Well, it's a script that actually was born as a story for the Hispanic market. So originally it was written in Spanish years ago, and the title was Macumba, which is some sort of voodoo witchcraft that is very common in some countries in South America. But then the project evolved into something different, and we finally wrote a script a few months ago.
It starts off as a comedy, and my character is a charlatan. He's a snake oil salesman. He's making money off of like illegal aliens, being like a spiritual counselor, advisor, and he's just making money off of them. And he's not really that much because he's in over his head. But what winds up happening is he falls across a client that wants him to make a potion for a husband to stop beating her. And he's like, I can't lie to you. So she winds up going to another like spiritual advisor, witch, who is legit. And she says, yeah, I could give something to your husband so he stops beating you.
And then he turns into a zombie, you know, for being such a mean guy.
And it turns out she has a side little business where she's turning people into zombies because they locked up the border. There's no more illegal aliens coming in, and somebody's got to pick the lettuce. So they got zombie labor doing this, right? Her and this Texan guy. So people come in, and she goes, you know, my head hurts. Yeah, drink this. You know, my bunions hurt. Drink this. And they turn into zombies one by one. And she doesn't care if they're Spanish, white, black, Cherokee, French. She gets paid per head, right? So it starts off as a comedy, but it winds up that this guy is in way over his head because he represents himself as being a supernatural kind of guy, and he's not, and she is.
This film was produced by Lafayette-based company Maxim Entertainment. The four partners of this group, Jonathan Sebastian, Blaine McManus, Stacy Fobb, and Brian Dayhart, decided to get the ball rolling on the film industry in Acadiana.
We started the company about 1.5 to 2 years ago, and we did it because I was looking to move and relocate back from Los Angeles to Louisiana, being from here and being in the industry. Blaine was doing the same thing. Blaine had tried to get the industry going in Lafayette about 2 years prior, didn't have the best of luck doing it. We ended up hooking up, decided, you know, let's try again, why give up and keep doing it.
Maxim Entertainment worked with their Los Angeles-based partner Frederico Lapinda, who supplied them with the script, the director, and the cast. Maxim made it happen in South Louisiana.
So what we did is the four of us came together, decided on a business plan on how we can get this into Lafayette, how we can, break the nutshell of Lafayette and get involved with the industry. So we did that, and what we did is our first film is Macumba.
When I heard Louisiana, I right away associated it with voodoo. I'm sorry, but for some reason, and I thought of swamps, and I thought of Mardi Gras, and I thought of, everything that Louisiana represents, among many other things, of course. So before I even came to do location scouting, I was fascinated in my fantasy, the idea of doing this in Louisiana. We ended up having a trip here to see the locations, and then I got to meet also the people, and I saw the enthusiasm, and I thought, this is great, so that's where we are doing it here.
Not everyone was brought in from other places to work on this film. There were many locals who contributed to this production.
We had not only extras, we had the crew. We had a good mix of everybody. We couldn't rely on everybody to be from the area as much as we'd like to. We did fly in a couple of our special people from Los Angeles, a good handful of maybe 5, 6 of the crew members that we needed because they were experienced enough to do it. As far as the extras, I mean, I picked my neighbor right across the street from one of the kids, and we needed zombies, so we wanted someone from 40 to all the way down to 18 years old. So we used everybody local for that. We did the same with the location shoots. I mean, I was glad to actually use Opelousas and Lafayette for the majority of the location shoots. We want the film industry to come here, to stay here, which it will. It's already happening as we speak. But what we wanted to do is, since we were launching a production company, that's what our goal was, to take this movie and shoot and use as many local people as possible to show that this is actually going to affect everybody. It affects the businesses, it affects the locals. It can diversify the economy, if we can get this to happen and stay here.
One unique aspect of this film is that it was shot in 2 different languages.
We are shooting it in Spanish and at the same time in English. So by the end of the whole process, we're going to have 2 movies shot in Lafayette for the price of 1.
We decided to do it in English and Spanish, basically so we could so we could get the full potential of the Spanish market. One in English, they're completely bilingual, so doing it in English was an absolute for one. We were lucky enough to get the actors who are really well known in the Latin community, or A-type TV stars, making quite a bit of money for their for their status in the Latin communities. But what they would like to do, and what happens a lot, is they want to cross over into the American market. So we were able to get them at a reasonable cost, and we thought that not only could they benefit from us doing the movie in America, we could benefit from cross-promoting it into the Latin countries and actually have a really good foreign release.
I think the curiosity factor for some of the names that are in this movie, like Fotan Fernandez, Adriana Castaño, Monica Munoz, Eduardo Ibaroa, those names don't mean anything to us. Because I don't watch Spanish TV, I watch NBC, ABC, CBS, What it means to 40 million people. Oh yeah, oh.
Right.
You did an American movie? I think they're gonna sell a ton of DVDs.
So how long does a production like this take?
From the minute that we got the opportunity to do this film, we started pre-production. That's scheduling our crew, getting our director ready to come down, scheduling flights, everything that needed to go into the actual preparation. That, that could take sometimes 3 months. We did it in probably 6 weeks, maybe 2 months. You know, so a lot of preparation went into that, getting everyone ready for when they come down. Now, when you start production, the actual production, we did it in about a 21-day shoot, you know, but what we also did is we split it into two different time frames. What we wanted to do is capitalize on the university students who we wanted to help with this film, help train them. So what we did is we shot the 2 weeks that they were off from school. We decided to go down from there. When spring break came around for another week, we picked up shooting again, you know. So in essence, the whole shoot was in production was about 3 weeks.
Generally speaking, Maxim is in charge of the business and financial aspects of the production. The director visualizes the script, oversees the artistic and dramatic aspects of the film, and guides the actors and crew.
This director is outstanding. He's very specific. One of the things that's really I've noticed in the entertainment industry, that there's a tendency to be safe, you know, not to take risks. So someone who's afraid to take risks and is safe is very general, very nebulous. And they talk and you understand what I mean, right? No,
Right.
Communicate, write it down.
Working very closely with the director is the DP, or Director of Photography.
Pretty much the kind of like an artistic look of the movie and how it's gonna look, what kind of camera movements, the lighting, stylish of the movie. Pretty much like trying to get what the director thinks, put it on images.
What were these people doing before they came to Acadiana to work on Macumba?
The last thing I did before I came here was an episode of Cold Case in Los Angeles. Before that, it was an episode of The Unit on CBS. Before that was The Riches on FX with Eddie Izzard, who's awesome, and Minnie Driver is awesome. The rest of the cast is awesome. I hope that show lasts forever because it's really good. And so I've done mostly TV, like Boston Legal, Crossing Jordan, Medium, The Shield a couple times, Judging Amy.
I just finished shooting for Telemundo. It's a show called Dame Chocolate, which was aired by Telemundo, and also there's a movie coming out called El Cartel, which I shot in Mexico. You know, I've done a lot of TV work for Latin, let's say, market, and so it's just great to now have the opportunity to work with you know, U.S. crew and have English-speaking roles.
Well, my background is pretty much on documentaries and commercials, but in the past 2 or 3 years I've been shooting more feature film. So this is my 4th feature film in the last 3 years.
And these outsiders really seem to like the area.
Oh my God, this place is wonderful. I've been here like 15 years ago and I was like, wow, these people. But this is even more intimate because there I was just visiting friends, but here I've met so many more people. I'd come back here in a heartbeat. These guys invited me to Mardi Gras and all this stuff, and I'm like, okay, can I make that happen? You know, I want to come.
Wow. Well, I have to be honest. I love Lafayette, love Louisiana. A lot of good food, really nice weather, really good girls. I love it.
Where are you originally from?
I am from Costa Rica, so I feel really happy here, being here. Like, I mean, kind of make me feel kind of like home, you know,
Right,
like
right.
good food, nice people, and nice weather, the humidity and sun.
I am very, very happy to be here because the movie now is gonna get a sense of authenticity that I don't think it would have had if we had done this in Los Angeles or some other place like that.
Very nice. I've enjoyed myself very much, and you know, the crew has been very nice. It's a great production team they have here, and we're just having a ball.
I mean, the history in Louisiana is just, I feel blessed to be here, you know, grateful. And, you know, actors study life, and there's so much life here that I don't know where to start, you know. But I started with the crew because everyone is so interesting, because they're so enthusiastic about the future of the film industry in this town, and I support them 1,000%, you know, yeah.
Lafayette seems to have the potential to support the film industry, and Maxim plans to keep working towards that goal.
The movie industry will not just affect us as a production company, that it affects all of them. If we have a film that comes into the town, you're talking about catering, you know, dry cleaning, paper goods, copying, all of that. So it affects a good 80% of the businesses in Lafayette. Shreveport has one of the most active studios in the country right now. There's no reason Lafayette couldn't have that. You know, New Orleans has it, but you know, why not Lafayette? We're right in the middle of the two, so we should do it.